Hey, what is up everyone? In this video I want to talk about the Hunter's Call and why I think they deserve some love in a big new update this year. With the release of Season 7 of Sea of Thieves, all of the trading companies got a major upgrade with new level increases and a distinction system. But surprisingly, the Hunter's Call was left out and now is the only remaining faction locked at level 50. Do they just not care about the Hunter's Call anymore? Or are we gearing up for an even bigger update for the Hunters soon? While I can't really answer that in this video, I would like to discuss what I would want to see in a big Hunter's Call update in the future. So right off the bat, we need an increase in levels to match the other factions, as well as giving the Hunter's Call a distinction system. This was a great update for the other groups, and it only makes sense to give the Hunter's Call that same system. But the Hunter's Call needs more than that to make for a great update. And that brings us into new Hunter's Call experiences. I talked in a previous video about how I think we should get a Hunter's Call campaign. The idea being that these would be story-driven voyages, each one tasking players with hunting down a new monster somewhere in the Sea of Thieves, starting with the Megalodon and working our way up to more difficult bosses like a crab monster. Similar to the Legend of the Veil, these would be story-driven missions that are highly replayable and also should be highly rewarding. I could also see them doing something like they did with the Hunger and Deep campaign, but doing that in a more permanent, replayable way. This would also make the Hunter's Call stand out from the other factions and give players something genuinely new to do in the game. Another idea for a Hunter's Call expansion that could tie in nicely with the monster hunting voyages is recipes. When the Hunter's Call were initially introduced, it was with the addition of cooking. Now imagine for this expansion we got recipes that ranged from small basic ones that just maybe granted more health, to potentially harder recipes that brought special abilities like temporarily granting the player faster movement. Not only would this really spice up the game with new player abilities, but it would also allow for making the regions more distinct by having ingredients only available in certain areas of the map. For example, maybe for a speed boost recipe, one of the ingredients is a spicy pepper only found in the Devil's Roar during volcanic eruptions. Recipes would also allow for better progression when selling to the Hunter's Call, because I think we can all agree that selling cooked food to them gives you barely any golden reputation currently. So these recipes could yield higher rewards for players and make them more interested in getting involved with the Hunter's Call faction. Speaking of progression, another addition could be a Hunter's Call emissary, which could potentially make sense if we got some sort of new voyages like the monster hunting campaign that I mentioned earlier. There are other ideas for new voyages such as a fishing voyage, like the one we had during the time-limited Festival of Fishing event. Those would be really cool to see a return in more permanent, maybe updated way. I would also love to see an expansion on fishing in general, with things such as maybe being able to go crab hunting and you could throw a cage overboard and catch some crabs with it. It could be fun having multiple cages that you have to monitor on your ship, where you could potentially throw them overboard and then attach the rope somewhere on your ship where you had to basically notice if it was getting pulled or not. I'm sure there's tons of potential other ideas that could fit really well with the Hunter's Call. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas for that. But that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed, it'd be great if you like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching and I'll see y'all later. Bye y'all.